Hello, everyone. Dave Bondi here with the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. Joining me now is Jamie Hope with the Michigan Capitol Confidential. Today, we are talking about the Traverse City, the film festival up there, and some big changes happening. Good to see you. And what can you tell us about what's happening?
Good to see you. Well, Traverse City Film Festival, which was put on by Michael Moore, documentary filmmaker, there after 2 years, but there's some really interesting facts behind this whole thing.
And what are we dealing with the numbers behind it? Because a lot of times people don't know how much money is going into this. And there's a big chunk of change that was put into this and put into Michael Moore's hands.
Yeah, well, let's back up a little bit. So, Michael Moore, as we know, like I said, he's a documentary filmmaker. And what's interesting is that he created a documentary around 2009 called Capitalism, A Love Story. For those who don't know, Michael Moore is a self-professed anti-capitalist. In his documentary, he says capitalism is evil and to be eliminated and replaced with something else. Michael Moore at his pinnacle was worth about $50 million. Him and his wife had 9 homes in New York and Michigan. One was on Torch Lake and valued at $2 million. So Michael Moore was doing pretty good for a anti-capitalist. That's fine, but he went on Wall Street during his documentary with empty money bags demanding the banks give taxpayer money back. For those who don't know or don't remember, during the 2008 recession, the banks were bailed out by taxpayers. So Michael Moore went there and he said, hey, give taxpayers their money back, which a lot of people do not like corporate welfare, and rightfully so. The problem is Michael actually developed part of this documentary in Michigan, and his his documentary requested a $1 million film subsidy for his capitalist documentary back then.
Wow. And that's your article I have on the screen right now titled Michael Moore Ends Film Festival 2 Years After $1 Million Grant. And many times in the media, people don't know where the money's coming from. And people in Michigan may not even have ever been told, publicly in the media that this was coming from them. The taxpayers were paying for this. They thought, it was cool. There was a film festival, but people may not have known that it was taxpayer money that was funding a big part of this.
Yes. Yeah, so his documentary is a little bit different than the film festival.
Yeah.
He did end up, his documentary did end up getting $842,000. Under pressure, they said they did donate that money back, allegedly. We didn't have that verified, but that's what's been told. So the problem is, fast forward now to COVID for the Traverse City Film Festival, and they then again received another $933,000 in COVID funds for the Traverse City Film Festival. And I believe it was Michael Moore that said this saved the Traverse City Film Festival getting this money. However, they did one more film festival after they received the money, and then they announced they're shutting down for good.
Wow. And do we know, is it public record, has more money been allocated? Has that money been spent? Is that even public record, or is that something why we have you to dig for that sort of thing?
Right now, we're unsure. So Traverse City Film Festival is a nonprofit. I went to GuideStar and looked at their 990 forms. The last one reported, I believe, was in 2020. So we do not have that information on hand. We did reach out to the film festival for comment. They did not respond.
Wow. And that's something they should respond, because it's my money, your money, taxpayers' money going to it. And this is disappointing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things we are interested in learning is how much does the film festival cost? How much, once they receive that $930,000, how much of that was used towards the one film festival that they put on before they shut down for good?
Yeah, if it's our money, we deserve to know those answers.
Yes,
and for the people of Traverse City in the Michigan, disappointing. They like the film festival, but I love that you're digging in, because many times, and that's why you're here and we're here at the Mackinac Center, to let people know public money taxpayer money that goes into these things that, without you digging into this, many people just wouldn't know.
Yeah, so the reason that they were even allowed to get the money, the first round of money for the documentary, was because in 2008, the legislature approved film subsidies, in other words, corporate welfare for films, because they wanted to turn Michigan into the Midwest Hollywood. A lot of people will remember a lot of movies were brought here. Superman was one of them. I believe Debbie Stabenow, a Congresswoman, U.S. Senator Stabenow, had a cameo in that. And then they ended up, by the time it was all said and done, I believe the legislature shut the subsidy down in 2015 after about 500 million taxpayer dollars had been given out for the film incentives. And the interesting fact behind that is that there were no new permanent jobs created from this endeavor.
None, zero.
No new permanent. There were some jobs, obviously during the when they were filming, if it was a bigger budget production, but no new permanent jobs were created from the 500 million that was spent from hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
Wow. And on Mackinac Center and your website as well, we have stories on that you can look up. But once again, great reporting, and I really appreciate you joining us, and we're going to be talking to you often.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to let everybody know about this important story.
Thank you very much.